Skoksiere. Good morning. Let's try that again. Skoksiere. So, Skoksiatic. So, welcome, to the, what is it? I'm just trying to remember that we changed the name from doing research in Indian country to doing research in indigenous communities. And take this off. So, just by way of introduction, my name is Jacob Moore, Vice President, Tribal Relations. I have new titles too, so of course all this was in my head and now it's all gone. So Vice President and Special Advisor to President Crow on American Indian Affairs. And we're honored to have you here today on behalf of President Crow and all of Arizona State University. We're going on, I believe, 7 years for this this event, and really the impetus for this was the 1-118, the Tribal Consultation Policy, which was approved in 2015 in terms of how we engage with tribal communities, specifically around research. It's an ABOR policy, and again, our purpose is to maintain fidelity and collaboration and cooperation with all of our tribal nations and communities, specifically around research. This one is a little bit different, but not the first time that we've been more topic specific. In the past, we've tried to address a variety of topics, in our sessions that we've had over at Sky Song. This is a ABRC funded Arizona Biomedical Research, so very much interested in research elements, both for researchers, for students on a path toward their own scholarly work, but more importantly to community in terms of understanding what are the priorities of our community and what are the appropriate ways and appropriate protocols. So this is really intended to be a discussion, but as I referred to is that during the pandemic we had a virtual that was again specifically about COVID. We had tribal leaders and healthcare providers at that time, which was a topic that was most serious and most deadly to all communities, particularly to our tribal communities. So the topic for today is really around the sober living crisis, the sober living housing crisis. Again, morning presentations from those that perhaps were closest to one, identifying, but also addressing the issue. And in the prior sessions that we've had in the evaluations, the common responses, we don't just want talking heads. We want to have a conversation. So the afternoons are structured for breakout sessions, specifically for feedback, for ideas, for thoughts and experiences that others have had, specifically leading to this idea that research isn't foreign to us. This has been part of our communities for centuries, for generations. When we look to our elders, the understandings of the medicinal powers of medicine, of plants, and cosmology, our understanding of the stars. So where is that nexus between what happens in these westernized institutions called universities and tribal communities, specifically around concepts of research? So this is our purpose for today, and we thank you for taking time from your day to join us. So I'm going to make sure we get through these our introductions on our welcomings. Next, I'd like to call to the podium Michael Yudell. He is the Vice Dean of College of Health Solutions to provide some welcoming comments as well. And the bios are included. I believe there was a link to the agenda, but we'll make sure that you have that. So go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Yudell. I'm the Vice Dean of the College of Health Solutions. It's great to be here. Thank you, Vice President Moore, for your remarks and for your leadership organizing today's event in partnership with ASU's Office of American Indian Initiatives and our College of Health Solutions. And also congratulations on your new title and promotion. So we're so happy to be working with you. Thanks to everyone on the planning committee, including some of the folks at the College of Health Solutions who've helped make today possible. And of course, greetings on behalf of our college. Being trustworthy collaborators with tribal communities and being research partners in health and health equity are priorities for the College of Health Solutions. And I can tell you that both as Vice Dean and as a community health researcher myself, I look forward to supporting CHS and our efforts across the university in supporting existing and future relationships with Indigenous communities in Arizona and beyond. I should also note that I'm a public health ethicist by training, and I'm acutely aware of how partnerships with universities across the country and across the globe have been both good and bad for Indigenous communities in the past. So meetings like this today are so important to making sure that these types of collaborations are successful and good for the communities that universities are partnering with. I also bring greetings from Deborah Hellitzer, the Dean of the College of Health Solutions. Deborah has long worked in partnership with Indigenous populations on Indigenous health issues, particularly the Navajo Nation, on research related to agriculture, health, and safety. And Deborah and I were talking last week in anticipation of this event, and she was talking about how important the collaborative approach is in community health research. And such approaches are not only relevant, but integral to these types of research partnerships and make them better aligned to communities' needs. So again, we are so pleased to be hosting this conference, co-hosting this conference. And I just want to highlight a few things that our college has been working on in this space over the last year. This past year, we dedicated ourselves to a cluster hire in Indigenous health on our tenure track faculty, with one new hire soon to be announced and a second hire that we're hoping to be able to announce at some point. Second, our Indigenous Health Equity Initiative, funded by Genentech, partnered with approximately 30 faculty from around the university. They will be hiring a postdoctoral fellow as well as a program manager dedicated to Indigenous health equity in the near future. Third, the college feels privileged to be hosting this conference as well as supporting the transition of the Promoting Indigenous Research Leadership Conference to its permanent host site at ASU. Fourth, our college is working with IHS for internship and apprenticeship sites for a community health worker training program, as well as connecting an Indigenous student in our brand new genetic counseling program to the IHS. Fifth, a group of researchers in our college focused on substance use disorder is co-leading a grant application for addressing substance use and misuse issues in Indigenous communities. And finally, for the past 3 years, we have designed and hosted the Health Learning Community Track for ASU's Inspire program for Indigenous high school students, seeking to build a representative health workforce which mirrors the populations of the communities we serve. So again, CHS is so excited to be part of this effort today to build knowledge and expand relationships. We are looking forward to applying that knowledge towards actions that, again, will be deeply collaborative and will lead to good health outcomes in Indigenous communities. Thank you, and now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sally Morton.
Good morning, and thank you, Michael and Jacob. This is my second year that I've been honored to have been invited to welcome you, and I'm very honored to be here. As you've heard, I'm Sally Morton. I'm Executive Vice President of Knowledge Enterprise, which means that I and my team are responsible for the research and economic development ecosystem of the university. And besides our practical support of research and researchers, we think of Knowledge Enterprise as a bold, ambitious, university-wide mindset that inspires all of us to seek and share facts and understandings which will empower ourselves and our society, especially our students, to solve humanity's greatest challenges. Our work supports a thriving people, a thriving planet, and a thriving society. Now, the purpose of today's event, as you've heard, is to understand how we conduct research in the most respectful way to improve health, wellness, and other positive outcomes for and in tribal nations and communities. ASU has 9 design aspirations. This really operational and ethical framework integrates innovative ways to achieve excellence and positive impacts in the communities that we serve. And these design aspirations include: be socially embedded, leverage our place, enable student success, conduct use-inspired research, and transform society. And today is an opportunity to practice those design aspirations, to engage and understand research through an Indigenous lens, to learn what is important to tribal communities, ensure that we follow proper protocols and methodologies that can lead to stronger collaborations and outcomes. Now, as you heard from Jacob, this year's planning committee is taking a different approach from prior events by narrowing this agenda today to one particular compelling public health topic, the sober living housing crisis. This issue is both disturbing and it's also tragic. Our hearts really go out to those impacted by these predatory practices, and we also honor and recognize those that are with us today who are going to share their experience. Public research universities like ASU are situated to take on society's most pressing challenges by examining, assessing, and exploring these critical issues. We can deter and prevent such egregious acts from happening in the future. When there are problems in our communities, we want to provide the resources to address them. We are here to be a trusted partner and resource. Now, we know that successful partnership really requires ongoing collaboration, not just one meeting, but ongoing engagement. It requires listening and learning from the community. It requires understanding what your priorities are and incorporating those understandings into how we engage and work towards solutions. And that's why events like this are so important. Because research isn't just what happens in a science lab. Research has an important role in our community. Now, as a mother, and I'm also a grandmother, I'm a leader and an educator, I often reflect on this. These next years will determine what kind of world our children and everyone inhabit. These are challenging yet exciting times. And there's great power in this room. You are that power, and you affect that change. So as we begin, please join me again in thanking the organizers of this conference, and thank you again for allowing me to join you this year. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jacob. Thank you.